Why is it so hard to make and keep friends in midlife, especially as a mom? We were never meant to do this alone. As women, we were wired for connection, for villages, shared stories, and sacred everyday moments. And yet, in the thick of motherhood, when the emotional load is heavy and the logistics are just nonstop, friendship can quietly slip to the bottom of the never ending to do list. Welcome to Motherhood and the Messy Middle, where we're diving into the real talk about finding, keeping, and healing friendships in this wild, beautiful, and often lonely middle season of life. Welcome to Motherhood and the Messy Middle, where grade school meets grown kids, hot flashes meet holy fire, and no topic is too messy for this village. I'm Robin, one half of the voice behind this podcast. Nicole and I are two moms who slid into each other's DMs and built a virtual village where we are inviting you into our honest, healing, and often hilarious conversations that help you feel not so alone in the beautiful chaos of motherhood and midlife. We talk about what it really means to mother, to grow, to fall apart, and rebuild, spiritually, emotionally, hormonally, and sometimes all before breakfast. So whether you're in the thick of motherhood, facing perimenopause, praying hard, or just tired of pretending you're fine, this space is for you. Let's dive in. All right, Nicole, let's start with this question. Why do you think it's so hard to find a friend in motherhood?
Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I, I don't know. I wish that I don't know. It's because we're busy. Because honestly, I don't have my view on friendship right now is I don't have the capacity to give a new friendship the time and effort that it would need to grow. And the friendships I have are established. So there's more grace there because there's 10 years of friendship there.
Mm-hmm.
So she knows me well enough to know that if I don't show up or I don't respond, she's not going to be offended.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows my life well enough to know that I have a lot going on or why I'm probably not answering her text message or things like that. And so it doesn't feel as much pressure.
It's interesting because as you were saying that, I'm like, how did I slide into your DMs and become your friend then? You know, because I mean,
Well,
that has happened for us.
Yes. But I think that it is truly that soul connection that you and I have. I think we're very similar. And the ways that we're not similar, they're very complementary. But I also think that you are a friend that leads with grace. You allow space. And what I feel like I've found in my adult years is that not everyone holds space for others very well. It's a very small group of people who can do that. And you are someone who holds space really well. And you also know how to show up and you remember things. So like you checked back in on my dog. My dog was like throwing up and falling over. So we thought something was wrong, but he's fine. But Robin remembers those things. Like she circles back to them. And so it cues in my brain that it's important to her. These little things are important enough for that she remembers. I feel like I'm talking about you in third person, but I'm talking to
yeah,
I
like it. My ego's like, yeah. But in all seriousness, I have struggled with friendships. And so it's thank you for sharing that feedback with me. And what comes up for me is this whole idea of we don't teach emotional intelligence.
Right.
And it is something that I am strong in because of my trauma background that I had to really learn about my emotions, how to sometimes regulate them. But also I was raised as an only child. And so I was engaging with adults.
Yeah, you were around a lot of adults.
Yeah. And I also was a traumatized child. So I was spending a lot of my life in a dissociated state where it was easy to be able to look at how to engage with people. But I truly love people. Like I love people. And I get told all the time that people appreciate that and that they don't meet a lot of people like me who are just like, I don't really do small talk. I just go straight in. I'm ready. I'm here for it. That has shown up in my life. Like I've even had a neighbor friend who I had like a coffee chat with, and she shared vulnerable things that she
Yeah.
didn't share with anyone else that were in
Yeah.
real time happening.
With this I'm the same way.
And
We are
I'm just
very
like, where,
mhm.
okay, but I held the space, right? And I didn't tell
Right.
anyone about it because like
Right.
it's not my business to do.
Right.
But how that conflicts with what I actually see in friendships is
Yes.
they fade and
Yes.
people don't reciprocate that for me. And
Right.
I'm one of those, like, I think of myself as like a puppy dog and I'm just so happy to meet everyone and see you. And I just have
Yeah.
this connection. And then it's like people don't follow through with it. And now I'm standing alone again, even though
Yeah.
I just had this great interaction. And
Right.
that burned me like
Yeah.
bad a lot of
Yeah.
times. Um, and now I'm just in a stage in my life where I don't have time to worry about other people.
Right.
I only have time to love them for who they are and how they
Mhm.
are when they show up, and hopefully they
Mhm.
keep showing up.
Mhm.
And that's what's happened with you and I.
Yeah, you and I are very similar. My Just the other day, my middle son was reminding me about how when we were on a road trip one time and I was buying us 4 Gatorades, how the cashier told me I knew about her marriage, how many kids she had, why she moved there, why she left where she was, the debt that she was in, the death of her parent, how she cared for them. And my sons walked away and they're like, "Okay, I see why you don't like to talk to people." And it's not that I don't like to talk to people,
It's
it's
so
that
intense. Yeah.
it's intense. And
Mhm.
when someone's telling you don't just walk away, I hold space for them. I listen and I affirm them or I don't know whatever they need in that moment. And then when it's safe, I walk away. But like that makes social encounters sometimes really intimidating for me because that happens very frequently. And it was the first time my boys had ever experienced it with me. And they were
Interesting.
like,
Well,
"Oh,
that's real. Yeah.
I can see why you get nervous."
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever known this trick, but I learned it from one of my friends who has ADHD and I have a lot of ADHD symptoms. So I'm going to hold this finger to remember what I want to circle back towards. If I forget, that's going to be really embarrassing, but I want to circle back with something with that, but I do need to ask you, are you an
Okay.
introvert or an extrovert?
I would say I'm more well, I don't, is there a way? I
Yeah,
would
that's
say I'm
called
more,
am and oh, I never say it right. Omnivert is both.
yeah. Yeah, I can be both. Really depends on who. If it's a social gathering where I don't know anyone, no, count me out. My parents moved here to Boise to be near us a couple years ago, and my mom's extremely extroverted.
Mm,
And the first time I went to a gathering with her and I told her, I will not go in that line and talk to all of those people. I will sit here and I will wait if you would like to go. And please don't invite me to this again because it was like a big gathering and she was out fluttering around. She didn't know anybody. She was meeting everybody. And I was like, I want to leave. But if I know people, then I'm good. But so I don't know. And it's a lot of that is because there's no small talk.
mhm.
And what I have found is that, like you said, not everyone can hold space, and I end up feeling a little bit like a circus.
Mm,
Like they're just there for the entertainment of my circus,
mm.
and I don't wanna sell tickets to my circus. Not everybody gets to come to the show.
Yeah.
Like, it's a circus, I'll claim it, but not everybody gets to come to the show.
I mean, that's such
So,
a powerful thing for us as mothers, but especially as women. Like, we get to choose
yeah,
who comes to our show,
I
and
found that out the hard way.
that's about worth and power.
Yeah,
And to me, that's really what I'm stepping into as I am in my 40s, as I am really embracing, I'm in menopause, but what I've learned from perimenopause and beyond, as I'm doing work to learn about what happens to women during that time. And it's a really powerful time because we're stepping into ourselves.
right.
And that's when we can make these soul connections that I think you and I have been dabbling in or
Yeah,
experiencing
yeah.
quite frequently. When we do meet in person, because for those of you who don't remember, we have not met in person.
I
We
can't
are in
wait for the
different
day.
time zones. But if we ever go to a social event together, I want you to know I am like the best wingman that you can possibly have.
I could see
Um,
that, I could see that.
I it's a really great example is that my husband is finally starting now. We're about to celebrate 16 years of marriage. We've been
Mhm.
together for almost 25. He is finally picking up what I've been teaching him and modeling. And one of the things that I do when I go to work events with him, social events, is I introduce myself to people And right away, I forwardly say, "Hi, my name's Robin. What's your name?" And then they tell me their name because he often forgets people's names.
Yeah.
So then I literally am like weaving this thread and I say people's names a lot. Um, I actually have done this assessment. It's called the Strengths Finder. When I was on a
Okay.
leadership team, we all did it to be able to know our strengths. So people who do, now what's more like cutting edge or whatever, and well known as like Enneagram and
Sure.
those types of things.
Right.
But this was in my professional life, it was Strengths Finder, and my number one was connector. And how I describe that is if I
So
go to a
accurate.
party, I
Mhm.
will connect people, and at the end of it, I'm like standing alone because I literally introduce people. I
Can
remember
I
those facts,
you
and
do
then
it you do
yeah.
it digitally from a distance. Robin has literally connected me with another parenting coach in
Oh
Minnesota
my
that
gosh,
I
you're right. I
talked
forgot
to.
that I did that.
Yes. Yes, you did. You went to a networking event and then you connected us and like you put us on an email thread together and we totally had a phone conversation. And when you and I first met, it was through one other person. It was like you created that connection. So yes, you're good at
My
from
my
even digital
mind
perspective.
my mind just sees connections, and that's
Mhm.
even like all of the work with holistic wellness, holistic weight loss. I don't see them as singular things. I see these like glimmering pieces of people. And I'm like, "Oh, you'd really like this person or this person." I just there's too I have been through too much fear and trauma and the depths of despair to spend any more time doing anything other than just like living in the light
Mhm.
and seeing that light in other people. And that was the finger that I was holding, which, by the way,
Yay.
for those of you who can't see, it was not the middle finger, just so you know. Um, have you heard of the term light worker?
No.
So it's a term in a lot of like the woo spaces where people are more into, like angel numbers and
Yeah.
oracle card decks and all of that kind of stuff. I really resonate with it because when I learned what a light worker is, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm one of those. But it is a light worker is anyone who shines their light and other people see it and help
Mm.
bring really, for you as a Christian, it's bringing Christ's message
Mm.
to the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is an energetic component of that. And many of us that are light workers are also empaths. And so it's within your subtle energy body that we even have your subtle energy body is just the unseen. We have the physical body and then we have the
Right.
subtle energy body.
Okay.
And we all know what it feels like to enter a room and feel like something's off or,
Oh.
like the vibe gets
Mhm.
raised. Light workers just have this natural magnetic attraction. And one of the most powerful and profound examples that I have in my life, I'm for sure just like you, people just spill
Mhm.
things and I am there for it. But it was one that many people were able to witness, and it was wild. My daughter's school has an annual family fun night.
Okay.
And there were, I am not joking, like 300 people inside of this gym with bouncy houses. And it was
Oh.
an elementary school because it was supposed to be outside and the weather wasn't good. So imagine how chaotic that is.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
I struggle with my sensory
Mhm.
experiences now. So I'm a little bit dysregulated as that's all happening. But all of a sudden, I look down and a little girl who is just in tears looking up at me. And it is a neighbor girl that I kind of know and have seen a
Mhm.
couple times. She found me in the middle of that crowd because she
Uh-huh.
knew that I
Mhm.
literally swept her up, picked her up, held her, and
Yep.
then immediately found her mom. That's an example, not with like a conversation, but that same thing where she could have went, there were so many
Right.
other people that she passed by in order to find me.
Mhm.
And it's like we have this just natural safe place, that
Mhm.
we have, which makes it even more complicated for me when I'm like, why can't I, keep
Right.
friends and stuff? But one of the reasons I think that we've been able to be friends too is and develop our relationship is all of the different ways that we can communicate now. So we're
Right.
texting, we're Marco Poloing, we're, in DMs of
Mhm.
multiple platforms.
Mhm.
And honestly, that's how I am keeping the friendships with even people who live 10 minutes away from me that are my
Same,
closest friends.
same. My mom really brought to light with me something about me that I don't know if I would have realized for myself, but she said that I'm a much more available person digitally, like because I'll stay connected. I'll send a Marco Polo and I'm a verbal processor. I could send you 100 Marco Polos a day. Like I'll tell you my whole life story in a day. And I'll text you or I'll DM you. But carving out time in a day to meet for coffee is so much more challenging this season because like we've talked about before, even with older kids, it's not slowing down. My
No.
husband and I both were laid off a couple
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
ago. And so we said to each other today, like, what would we do if we had jobs? These kids need rides everywhere because our 16-year-old is not driving yet. The amount of our day is just filled up with camps, taking them to the movies, taking our oldest to work, like the
It's a lot of energy.
the
And
full
then
job.
you're peopled out even when it's people who fill your cup.
Right. So it's hard to carve. So that's affecting a lot of the relationships is that time. Are other relationships able to show up as easily
Mm,
with like the Marco Polos or the text messages? Because I have some friends who that's not
doesn't
their
work for
form
them.
of
Yeah.
right, it doesn't work for them. So then how I mean, not that we have the answers,
Well, they
but
have
like,
to show up with grace. I mean, that's what you
yeah,
started with when you were, telling me how wonderful I am. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Um,
You are.
thank you. But it is about just having grace and compassion for other
Mm-hmm.
people. And I'm curious because this shows up for me. I will reach out to people randomly
Mm-hmm.
that are in my past, and just, I just pick up where we left off. Or
Mm-hmm.
I have a best friend. He's been my best friend since kindergarten.
It's impressive.
I know because we're old. Like it's my 25th high school graduation
It's pretty
anniversary.
awesome.
So when we add in, another 13 years or whatever from kindergarten,
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And we do ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
And he lives in Milwaukee where I grew up, and I'm in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and he does not really travel that much anymore. So it's very few and far between that we see each other. But there is something so sacred in that, he grew up with my dad.
Yeah.
And my other, best friend is from high school, and she went on vacations with my
Mm-hmm.
family. And it's that's really incredible, but there's also these more like periphery friends that it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing where if I would have I have no ill feelings towards them. I would just love
Right.
to see, just because we follow
Yeah.
distance happen, that happens. Life happens. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you're bad or I'm bad. It just happens. Let's enjoy each other if we do get an opportunity to be together.
Yeah. Something that we should touch on too, it's just as part of friendships is friendship breakups. Like you were
Mm.
talking about like friendship distance, and that
I was
does
trying to
happen.
avoid that
Oh,
conversation,
okay.
Nicole.
Sorry.
Okay. No, we said we were going to talk about it all. So,
Like
okay. Yeah.
how have you handled those?
Oh, well, when you say that, I have a couple that come
Mhm.
really, really right, and they hurt my gut and my heart. Not well. I don't handle them well. I don't handle them well. The most recent one was actually someone that not only was a friend, but we met in recovery. I'm a recovering
Oh.
addict, and she was a sponsor of mine for a little while. And while I was transitioning sponsors at that time, and then during COVID, we would get together frequently. And at the time, she had an only child, and I had an only child, and it was really beautiful. And she was working a lot on herself and healing some different relationships. And I noticed, that she was talking about how she was just cutting people out of her life, and that she would essentially ghost them and block them from things. I mean, we're talking like family members and stuff like that. And I gave, I didn't think it would happen to me. And
Yeah.
I thought it was part of her healing journey, and that these people had all done her wrong. And in her perception, that is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Now, why it hurts is because part of how I show up in the world and work on my health and alignment is that I don't want to do damage to
Right.
anybody.
Right.
And I have had to work so deeply on what forgiveness means on a soul level and how you show up for people. And in her perception, I was demanding too much of our friendship, and she
Mhm.
kept, blowing me off when we'd have a time that we were going to get together. And I called her out on it. And I, not in a
Mhm.
mean way, I just said, hey, the next time that we make plans, like I've rearranged to do things. I want to get together. I thought that we were really close friends. And she told me that, I was obsessed with her and that we weren't as close as I was thinking, and
Ugh.
that how could I put that kind of pressure on the friendship? And that really made me take pause.
Yeah.
Um, and then she cut me out completely. I mean, I email blocked even like
Oh, wow.
everything. And um it was very, very hurtful.
Yeah.
And I forgive her because I honestly want to apologize for anything that I did
Yeah.
that showed up in a way that hurt her. That was never my
Do you think that
intention.
you did do you look back and think that you did do anything wrong, and would you change it moving into a different friendship? Or do you feel like your communication that she just wasn't prepared to hear and that you needed to be true to yourself by communicating?
I One thing that I'm learning and you're actually teaching me is that it's okay to not be best friends with everyone. And
Yeah.
I do think that there was that like puppy dog aspect of me where I just like love so hard, and she was and
Yeah.
really were like we were in alignment with so many things.
Mhm.
And that's what hurt the worst about it.
Yeah.
And I can understand from her perspective how
Mhm.
she, as a person who needed a lot of alone time and distance and all of these, and she, if she had a slight headache, like wouldn't sacrifice then showing up, even if it was a commitment that we had made weeks before.
Right.
And I appreciate that about her now. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want her necessarily back in my life. I just
Right.
wish that I could make amends with her.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes amends is not needed by directly apologizing to a person. It can be just
Mhm.
by giving that space. So there's still something for me there that it's about my own peace of mind. But what about you? Have you
Yeah,
had
I've
a
had
falling out?
oh, for sure. For sure. I wish I had none, but also that wouldn't make me human. But yeah, there's 2 that I've really yeah, they was super painful, and
Were
I
they
take account
recent?
um, no, most recent was probably 2 years ago. Before that, it was, gosh, when my daughter was 17. Um, and, I think both. What I learned from it, I can look back and take accountability in that, like, my communication wasn't great. I could have done better. Um, in the first breakup. The first breakup was the hardest in the sense that I I felt like I had communicated the best that I could with the skills I had at the time,
Mm,
and it was through one of the darkest seasons of parenthood, and I expressed that and literally said, "I don't know who I am anymore.
oh,
Who I
yeah.
was before no longer exists. This pain is
Mhm.
transformative, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to move forward. I'm lost." And the reaction was, "When you're back to your old self, let me know."
Mm,
While it was super hard in that friendship, it was so jarring to be met with, "I cannot do this new version of you," that it almost was like, that's good closure
yeah.
because this is now who I am. I wish it wasn't because I wish I didn't go through this painful experience, but I did. And so it's heartbreaking, but then like learning from it. And I think that's what makes us better friends as we move forward and also helps us recognize, like you said, not everyone is there. Friendships have seasons and they have time frames, and that friendships can fall in different categories. They don't all have to be our best friends, and they can serve different parts of our motherhood journey. Different friendships serve different parts, I think. Like, I have my soccer mom friends, and I
Mhm.
have the friends that are, my older son's best friend's moms, and, you know, that's our connection piece, and our friendship doesn't go much farther than soccer, but I love my soccer moms on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And so I just have these different categories of friends, and that feels and I have my handful of best friends. I have 2 that have been around, so I think they're sticking around for quite a while. And then I have you who I've met in the last couple of years, and I have one other friend who I've gotten close with in the last year. That's about the capacity I have
Mm-hmm.
to go deeper, and
Mm-hmm.
then I just have the categories.
Yeah. I really appreciate you just naming that. I don't think that we name it enough. Um, my perception before really becoming close with you, and you honestly, have coached me in that, just thinking of friends and things in a different way. It was that if I put people in categories prior to where I'm at now, I thought that that was callous, and that I
Mm,
thought
yeah.
that it was just not okay for me to do. But I
I
have
think for
learned
you and I, it helps us, like, with the emotional connection and release and expectation.
boundaries, and that
Right.
has been something that has been so important in my transformation, and the energetic boundaries, because we can do all of the things, but not
Mm,
all at one time. And
right.
that includes all of the different components of relationships and what it requires to nurture and
Mhm.
sustain them. And, honestly, like, our friendship started because we were both being called and passionate about building a business. And we were doing it as solopreneurs, as
Mhm.
mompreneurs.
Mhm.
And I, as the connector,
Mhm.
knew that I needed accountability and I wanted to do this with other people. And we started doing that. And then it grew. And then we've found a way to continue to grow that friendship
Mhm.
while fulfilling our mission around around being a light worker. See?
Mhm.
See?
Yeah.
Circles back to that finger that I was holding.
Yes.
That's why
Yes.
I also hang out with other women who have
Yes.
all sorts of neurodivergence, because we figure out how to navigate
Yes.
this world. And
Yes.
that's part of it too, is that the older that I've been getting, the wiser I'm getting, the more I'm getting to really know myself, and knowing who my people are.
Well, and
And
I think
go ahead.
I'll hold my finger.
No, no, you
Well, with something you
don't
said
pull your
is
finger now unless you're around your boys
something you
or my
said
little girl, because she really likes that kind of stuff too. Let's be real.
something you said triggered a thought for me in that the older that I get, the more confident I am in who I am, and the more I can recognize that I might not be a good friend for you.
Mm.
Someone might wanna be a friend with me and go deeper, and I can know that I'm probably not a good matchup for you. So sometimes I can recognize that it's okay that we don't have more than a surface level friendship, because I recognize that my personality may not jive with your personality, and
That takes a
there's nothing
lot
wrong with that.
and that takes a lot of strength. And it's really, I admire that so much. I hope to be like you someday when I grow up. What a great place to wrap up this episode. I also want to plant the seed with you, Nicole. As we were talking, there are some aspects around family and family
Mm,
dynamics, and
mm,
how, as we're transforming, and those people don't necessarily go away in the same ways. And so,
mm-mm.
boundaries, those are all things that I want to explore together and
Yeah.
learn from together and share with others. But, if you're in a season of friendship that feels dry or lonely, please hear this. This is a message from Nicole and I. You are not weird. Or maybe
Mm-mm.
you are. And that's
And it's
okay
okay.
too. That's
Mhm.
okay.
We're weird.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
you find your weirdos eventually, and
Yep.
you don't need more than a handful of them. Like, that's all
Yep.
you can. Just hold that finger, right? Just hold a couple of
Yes.
those fingers.
Yes.
Just know that you're not alone, especially as we navigate this. We thought it was going to end maybe in middle school or teenage years. No,
It doesn't.
we're going to just keep going, keep
Mhm.
going. So, making and keeping friendships as a grown woman and in motherhood, it is hard, but it is also beautiful. And we do need each other. And it's
Mhm.
never, ever, ever too late to start again. So maybe today is the day that you send a message to someone. Maybe it's a text or a Marco Polo that you want to reach out to reconnect. Or maybe It's the day that you reach out to a new friend, whatever it might be. It could even be that you want to share this episode with them. What a great
Mhm.
opportunity for you to be able to connect. And as you
Mhm.
know, we are trying to grow this virtual village. So we appreciate that connection, as well as we would be so grateful if you left a review and a like. It grows our mission to help moms normalize the mess and embrace the miracles. And it helps those other moms find us, and maybe you even find a friend. So,
Mhm.
cheers to healing friendships, finding new ones, and also learning to be a better friend.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole, for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend.
All right, ladies, we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Hey, before you go, we've got something just for you. We created the Motherhood and the Messy Middle Resource Vault. It's a growing library of support that's just for you. So, inside, you're going to find tools from both Nicole and my work, plus resources that we mention right here on the podcast. It's free, it's sent straight to your inbox, and it's always evolving, just like you. So, take what you need, leave the rest. You never know when you're going to need it or when your group chat might thank you for it. So, use the link in the show notes or head to motherhoodandthemessymiddle.com to get access, and welcome to your virtual village.